West Coast Avengers, and don't forget, when you see Todd, you buy Todd. Another episode in the books. Dinner time. What to eat, what to eat, what to eat. I don't remember buying this at the grocery store. Maybe just get some soup, that's easy. Todd. I think I'll lay down for now. What the hell is that?
Hey, come here. I've got something for you. It's a Todd McFarlane book.
Can't sleep, can't eat. I'll just take a bath, relax, and get McFarlane off the brain. What the hell? No more Todd! No more Todd! West Coast Avengers! Oh my god, that's too much Todd!
And another stack of comic books. Whee! It's another week with your pal Dave, the West Coast Avengers. It is February. Welcome in. Have a seat, have a coffee, have a beer, have a malted beverage, have a Red Bull. As many of you may know, I was recently in the Bay Area with other Dave. We did a weekend of flea markets, garage sale, digging around to a bunch of other places, some of our favorite spots. I took my trusty camera with me. I got myself a phone harness. So we got up ass early in the morning on Saturday and Sunday, and we went digging. I'm going to present to you a nice little montage of digging through books. I hope you enjoy it. And then after, we'll talk about the books. I want to say thank you to everybody. Please subscribe. Please like. Please comment. Hit the bell. All that stuff. Any interaction with me and you, the viewer, is good for YouTube. I'm really trying to grow this audience, so I appreciate all your efforts. Let's check it out. Pew, pew, pew.
West Coast Avengers! What's up, everybody? Saturday morning, Solano Flea Market, California. The West Coast Avengers, Dave and Dave. Hi, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
There's been comic books found here. It's one of your spots. And then we're going to go to a garage sale. Let's get digging. So we start out in Solano Flea Market early in the morning, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. And you like to get there when everybody sets up so you can see who's got comics. And I found some comics. There was some pretty decent stuff in here, but it was a lot of just kind of common Bronze Age, DC and Marvel. I didn't find anything crazy. Maybe I bought 5 or 6 books out of about 100 here. Alright, well, garage sale in Concord. Our target is acquired. Dave, what are we going to do?
I'm going to flip through some comics and finish this coffee.
Alright. This is a garage sale that was very close to Solano Flea Market, and the gentleman brought some of his own personal collection to a friend's house to sell. Some great books at great prices, although the conditions weren't always the best, but I did score some big books here. There's nothing better than coffee and comics. We took a break from the flea marketing to hit some stores in Berkeley and in Alameda to dig through some books. What's he doing there?
He's just throwing this dude off a cliff. And the dude's like still alive. How tall is that cliff? 1,000 feet? 10,000 feet?
Or is it 5 feet? And he's just like, I'm going to show you a bad time. Oh, wow. That's got to be Jusco.
That's Jusco, yeah.
In Alameda, there's a store called Good, Better, Best. It is an antique store that has a lot of comics from the owner's personal collection. The only problem is sometimes they're just not open, and their hours can change. So call ahead if you're going to go. Always a fun place to dig. Books are kind of dusty, so be prepared to have to wash your hands pretty soon after. It's 6:30. I am way too awake. Flea market hunting today with Dave and Dave. And we are at Laney College. So far it's been a good trip, but I want it to get better. I want more Secret Wars. I want more McFarlane. And sick of it. West Coast Avengers. Day 2 of flea marketing. And it was an early start. This one was probably about 6 o'clock in the morning. And in the winter on the West Coast, it's still dark out then. But we started, had our headlamps, and got to digging around while everybody was still setting up. Can I look at the comics? flea markets are the place where you truly have to dig, because a lot of these guys, they clear out storage lockers, there's boxes of comics, or there's boxes of whatever, toys and cards, and they're just pricing them at $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, or sometimes more. But you look through the stuff, you pull out what you want, and get a price, and then you can always counter. Flea market vendors are always good to haggle. They want to sell what they have. They don't want to go back with the same amount of stuff that they brought there. So they're trying to sell stuff, and you can always get a good deal.
It's pretty erotic.
I saw that real. I think I just got that recently. Oh, Critical Mass. Sienkiewicz cover.
That's fucking cool.
It's Billy. Billy S.
Billy Cinco. That's sick.
Wow.
An old Overstreet.
Mm-hmm. You can see it's on the cover. That's the update.
So Dave said he knew that there was a guy towards the back of the flea market that had comics the last time he was there. So we walked over and we spoke to the gentleman. He was a little bit older, and he asked us if we didn't mind to help him get the boxes of comics out of his van. We could look through everything. And of course, we said that's fine. So we climbed into the back of his van and got the boxes out and started digging. And there was some really good stuff, as you'll see here. But what was really cool about this collection, there was a lot of Bronze Age and Silver Age horror, including these Bernie Wrightson books, which I'm always going to pick up if the price is right, because it's Bernie Wrightson. There was a lot of Marvel and DC in there, of superhero books as well, and we found some good gems. I put together a big pile. As you'll see here, I did pull some of these books out to buy. And afterwards, the gentleman did give me a good deal after a little bit of haggling. But at first, he wanted to charge me way too much. And a lot of these books, as you might catch, are in really terrible condition. And some of them have grease pencil written on them. And some of them have ripped covers. Some of them were coverless. It was fun to look through. But it is kind of heartbreaking when you see big books that are worth a lot of money that are in such horrible condition. Unfortunately, I also missed a couple of books that I should have bought. While I was rewatching this to edit, I noticed a couple of Golden Age books that were worth some money, and I noticed a Defender's Key that if you watch closely, you'll be able to point out yourself. So maybe next time I go back, he'll still have these boxes and he'll still have these comics. So we dug for a while. Me and Dave kind of just switched off looking through boxes. Dave bought only a handful of books after putting most of them back due to the fact that they were in terrible condition. I think I bought about 15 books from this gentleman. Once again, some of these things I just bought as placeholders, even if they weren't in the best condition. Having them for $2 or $3 or $4 is better than not having them at all.
No, that's not Lethal Protector one.
Yep.
One of the bigger keys that I found that I didn't buy was this Tales to Astonish number 90, which is the first appearance of Abomination. I already have a copy, and I didn't want to pay for something that was in horrible condition like that book was. And someone else will get that book, and that's fine. I'm okay with not buying every single thing that I see just because I can.
It's $20 is Snap-on.
Is this Bernie? Like, right? It should be.
What's that? That's Wrightson.
I don't have this one.
I thought it was two people putting the lantern together with Just do it all together. All together.
As I dug, I continued to find more Bernie Wrightson, House of Secrets and House of Mystery and Swamp Thing. And this was a gold mine of the combination of all of that. And so I was just going to buy everything that was in decent condition as long as it was together and if it was Bernie Wrightson art. And I was super happy to do so.
I don't know. I could deal with it.
Damn.
I could do without all the movies.
If this was in good condition, what'd you think?
I could do without movies, really. The Wrightson one.
Snap-on, buddy. Oh, okay. Snap on over there.
I want that one if you're not gonna take it.
Yeah, you can take it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
This one's cool. But we didn't open this. Let me see what the...
Wait, these some nice guys. Give them a good deal.
After finding the Conan number 2, we continued to flip through more Conan the Barbarians, finding some really low number issues. It was a lot of fun to look through those Conan books and see the art from guys like Barry Windsor Smith. And as you see here, this is when he was just Barry Smith.
I mean, I think he did the first 10 issues.
Snap on.
See what other keys are in the first 20 of that, okay?
And here's where I messed up. Marvel feature number 1, The Defenders. This is the origin of the Defenders, a high of about $300, $400, and I just let that one slip.
You know, any of those spray cans, $2 each, keep it nice. That's it.
This was at that estate sale today.
And it's flea market time. And to close out the day, we went over to the Oakland Coliseum flea market just to check it out. Dave had never been there, I had never been there, and we found some comics.
Silver Surfer. Ooh. I might take one of those if they're in good condition.
This one was kind of like a junky flea market with junky comics, but it was still fun to dig through because you never know what you're going to find. This was clearly a box just full of 80s, 90s, and current stuff. A lot of Superman titles and Superman adjacent titles. So we didn't really get anything from this first vendor. And now on to the second vendor. I bought a couple of current books, mostly Donny Cates' Thor and a couple other books. But once again, nothing huge, nothing even really remotely interesting. But sometimes you just pick up some books for $2 or $3 that are cheaper than buying them at the comic book store.
You need that? 6. Charles Best, Marvel Comics Presents number 8. That's sick. It's pretty cool. Is that the first cover center stuff?
No.
No. Neither of these are, right? Hey, okay, you're back. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Flea markets were okay. They weren't stunning. The garage sale was great. I picked up one huge book at that garage sale and a stack of others. So I'm just going to briefly go through some of the things that I found. The second flea market we went to, Laney College, the gentleman who had those short boxes that we looked through, unfortunately, a lot of the stuff was really banged up. But I did get a really nice stack of Bernie Wrightson artwork. Whoever this collection belonged to years ago was a Bernie Wrightson fan because there was just pointedly a lot of Wrightson. The one thing that was missing was that House of Secrets first Swamp Thing, but I guarantee you it was in those boxes at some point. House of Mystery 236, Bernie Wrightson cover. And if you, for some reason, don't know Bernie Wrightson, please take a look. Go look him up, Google him. Unfortunately, he passed away a number of years ago, but he co-created Swamp Thing. He was the illustrator of the first solo Swamp Thing book for the first 10 issues. Some of his other notable books were Frankenstein Alive, Creepshow, primarily known as a horror artist. House of Secrets number 106, another great Bernie Wrightson cover. House of Secrets number 107. House of Secrets 135. House of Secrets number 139. Bernie was a master at drawing these beautiful pumpkins, and you can see on the cover of this, his skills in the pumpkin drawing are well displayed. A favorite cover of mine and Dave's is this House of Mystery number 217. I picked up a copy. This is one of his most notable covers on the House of Mystery. Number 195, Bat Out of Hell. This is just a giant bat. Just two more books to highlight, both of them being a key issue. This one was found at the first flea market we went to, Solano. This is New Mutants number 26 by our friend William the Sankster Sankiewicz. Bill Sankiewicz, Sankowitz. New Mutants 26, first appearance of Legion. Legion went on to become the catalyst of the Age of Apocalypse, where he goes back in time to kill Magneto and accidentally kills his father, Professor Xavier, setting off a chain of events which turn into Age of Apocalypse. If you've never read Age of Apocalypse, it is a big read. I want to say it's like 36, 48 issues, maybe even more. And if you've also never seen the show Legion, which was on FX, it's a brilliant show. Noah Hawley is the showrunner on it, who also was the showrunner on Fargo. Legion appealed to me because it's a little weird. It was FX. It's definitely on a more creative side and a more mature side. But if you haven't checked out Legion, please do. Finally, at the garage sale that me and Dave went to, the gentleman who was slinging comic books there, and he prices them really cheap. It's like 4 or 5 boxes. But I got this iconic Green Lantern, Green Arrow number 76. First off, it's the Neil Adams cover. Neil Adams, a legend in his own right, influential artist for so many reasons. Neil Adams and Denny O'Neil took over Green Lantern, made it into Green Lantern, Green Arrow. This is the first issue of that run. This book signified the end of the Silver Age, the beginning of the Bronze Age. They brought mature writing to the forefront of DC Comics with storylines that were heavy-hitting, drug use, and things that were forward-thinking. And Neil Adams, the man's got so many iconic covers under his belt. My brother grew up, not really. My brother's favorite superhero growing up when we were kids was Green Lantern. And he was collecting Green Lanterns. I was always aware of Green Lantern. I never really read a ton of it. It didn't speak to me. But this comic has always been in my mind as the Green Lantern cover. And I really think that this one will have its day. It is a nice, expensive book now, but I think it's just going to only go up. Super stoked to find it. That was the trip. I hope you enjoyed one of these digging videos. Let me know if you want to see more of this. Recommend this to a friend. Maybe your friend will enjoy it. This coming Tuesday, if you're watching this on Sunday, join me for a claim sale on Instagram with my pal Super Ugly. And then the next week, we will do another $50 challenge, this time with Super Ugly. Check out the link tree in the description below. You can find all my links to Instagram and whatnot, and eBay and Mercari and Dave's art store and all that cool stuff. We'll see you next week. Keep digging on the West Coast Avengers. I go magic man on no.
Hey, we are the West Coast Avengers.
Shut the fuck up. It's my show.